The grand palace stood majestically against the crimson sunset, its marble columns reflecting the dying light of day. Vindesel had never imagined he would find himself here in the heart of the kingdom, standing before the most powerful woman in the realm. His calloused hands, accustomed to wielding swords and handling rough rope, trembled as he approached the ornate chamber where Queen Lisa awaited. He was just a common soldier, a nobody from the outskirts of the kingdom. His presence here was an anomaly, a twist of fate that had begun 3 months ago on a battlefield soaked in blood and desperation. That day, Vindesel had saved a cloaked figure from an ambush, not knowing that beneath the hood was the queen herself, traveling incognito to survey the war-torn borders of her land. Now, as he walked through the gilded halls, his boots echoing against the polished floors, Vindesel felt the weight of 1,000 eyes upon him. Courtiers whispered behind jeweled fans, their gazes filled with curiosity and disdain. What was a mere soldier doing in the private chambers of the queen? The rumors had already begun to spread like wildfire through the palace. The massive doors opened, and there she was. Queen Lisa sat not upon her throne, but in a simple chair by the window, bathed in the golden light of sunset. She looked different from the desperate, mud-stained woman he had rescued. Her dark hair was adorned with a delicate crown, and her gown shimmered with threads of silver and gold. Yet her eyes, those same determined eyes that had looked at him with gratitude on that battlefield, remained unchanged. "You came," she said softly, rising from her chair. Her voice carried the melody of authority mixed with something gentler, something human. Vindesel bowed deeply, his heart hammering in his chest. "Your Majesty summoned me. I could not refuse." "Rise, Vindesel," Lisa commanded, but her tone was kind. "I did not bring you here to bow and scrape. I brought you here because I owe you a debt that cannot be repaid with gold or titles." He straightened, keeping his eyes lowered out of respect. The distance between them felt like an ocean, vast and She was royalty, divine in the eyes of her people. It was nothing, a shadow among shadows. "Please," the queen said, extending her hand toward him. "Come closer." Vindesel's feet moved of their own accord, carrying him across the polished floor until he stood mere feet from her. The scent of jasmine and roses filled his nostrils, intoxicating and overwhelming. His hands began to shake uncontrollably. "I wanted to thank you properly," Lisa continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "That day, you asked for nothing in return. You simply acted, risking your life for a stranger. Do you know how rare that is in this world of ours? I only did what any decent man would do." "Your Majesty," Vindesel replied, his voice hoarse with emotion. The queen smiled, and in that smile, Vindesel saw not the ruler of kingdoms, but simply Lisa, woman who had faced death and been given a second chance. She reached out and took his trembling hand in both of hers. His hands were shaking as he touched her. The contact sent electricity through his entire body. He had fought battles, faced enemies without fear, but this simple touch from the queen undid him completely. His breath caught in his throat, but the queen took his hand firmly and said, "Don't be afraid." Those 4 words shattered something inside him. The barriers he had built, the walls between their worlds, seemed to crumble in that instant. Lisa's hands were warm and soft, yet he could feel the strength in them, the same strength that ruled a kingdom that made impossible decisions, that bore the weight of millions. "I am not afraid of you as a queen," Vindesel finally managed to say, his voice thick with emotion. "I am afraid of what I feel when I look at you, afraid of the impossibility of it all." Lisa's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Do you think I am not afraid too? Every night since that day I have thought of you, the man who saw not a crown, but a person who needed help. In a court filled with sycophants and plotters, you were real, you were honest, you were brave." "Your Majesty, this cannot be," Vindesel protested, though he made no move to pull his hand away. "You are the queen." "I am." "You are the man who saved my life," Lisa interrupted firmly. "You are the man who haunts my dreams. You are the man who makes me question everything I thought I knew about duty and destiny." The room fell silent except for the distant sounds of the palace servants moving through halls, guards changing shifts, the eternal machinery of royal life. But in this chamber, time seemed to stop. "What would you have me do?" Vindesel asked, his voice breaking. "I would give my life for you, but I cannot give you a future. The kingdom would never accept." "Let me worry about the kingdom," Lisa said, squeezing his hand. "For once in my life, let me be selfish. Let me be just Lisa, not Queen Lisa. Let me explore this connection between us, wherever it may lead." Vindesel looked into her eyes, seeing the determination there, the same fire that made her a great ruler. And in that moment, he understood that love, real love, recognized no boundaries of class or station. "Then I am yours," he whispered, "for however long fate allows." Lisa smiled through her tears and brought his hand to her cheek. "Then that is enough," she said. "That is more than enough." Outside, the sun had fully set, and the first stars began to appear in the darkening sky. 2 souls, separated by birth and circumstance, had found each other against all odds. The road ahead would be difficult, perhaps impossible, but for now, in this moment, they had each other, and fear had no place between them. The queen and the soldier stood together, hands clasped, facing an uncertain future with the only certainty that mattered: they would face it together.